We're here.
Buongiorno, scusate ancora l'attesa, abbiamo avuto un problema con il computer proprio al momento dell'avvio della diretta. I'm sorry, dear friends, we had the problem with the computer when the live streaming started. I'm so sorry. It's the beautiful of the direct moment. Ok, allora buonasera a tutti cari amici e benvenuti a questo nuovo appuntamento, questo nostro quarto appuntamento con la nostra rubrica IBB Friends, all'interno della quale ormai, come ben sapete, abbiamo il piacere di intervistare alcuni dei più famosi personaggi del mondo brass bandistico internazionale. Cari amici, mi raccomando, seguiteci sulle nostre piattaforme Facebook, Instagram e YouTube e soprattutto durante la diretta lasciate nei commenti le vostre domande che io sottoporrò a fine intervista al nostro protagonista di oggi. Good evening, dear friends. Welcome to IBB Friends, the cycle of interviews in which we are very proud to interview some of the big men of the brass band world. Please leave your questions on our comments. At the end of the interview, I will read your question to our guest. Non mi dilungo oltre, passo subito a presentare il protagonista di oggi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to introduce you the principal cornet of Black Dyke Band, Mr. Richard Marshall.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank you, Giovanni. Lovely to see you again.
Yeah. I'm very happy to see you again. Sorry again about the technical problems.
No problem. We all have these.
Okay, let's start with the question. Could you tell us about your beginnings when you decided to play the cornets and the teacher you took as a model at the beginning of your career? Parlaci un pochettino dei tuoi esordi, quando hai deciso di studiare la cornetta e chi sono stati gli insegnanti musicisti che hanno plasmato la tua carriera come modelli.
Yes, no problem. It all started for me in 1985, so quite a long time ago now. My father, Brian, who I think is watching the interview live now, was a flugelhorn player with the Hatfield Colliery Band close to where I live in Yorkshire. And I used to go along and listen to my father play with the band, and I loved the sound of brass bands from the age of 9. I thought the sound of brass bands was fantastic. And he got me a cornet from the band, and I started learning the cornet. So I had a blackboard in my bedroom with a C scale, da 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 da, written on. My father taught me this. And he said, right, you needed a proper teacher now. So I was taught by the conductor of the Hatfield Band, who was my teacher and mentor for many, many, many years. His name was Ken Johnson, who was a fantastic soprano cornet player formerly with Grimethorpe Colliery Band, and used to be bandmaster of Grimethorpe Colliery Band. And he was a great teacher. I owe a lot of gratitude to him. I always say that if it wasn't for Mr. Johnson's tuition, I wouldn't be the player I am today. He used to be very old school teacher. You know, you get it right and you practice every single day, but I worked hard, and so that's where it started for me. I had the brass band infectious inside me through my father and through Mr. Johnson.
Ok, allora, lui ha iniziato lo studio della cornetta all'età di 8 anni, nel 1985. 1985 is my age, my year.
85, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. perché suo padre era un cornettista, un cornettista della Cori. L'ha portato praticamente ad ascoltare i concerti delle brass band e lui si è letteralmente innamorato del suono della cornetta. Allora, a quel punto suo padre ha iniziato allo studio della musica e della cornetta in generale, addirittura i primi esercizi erano la scala di Do maggiore che suo padre gli scrisse su una lavagnetta. Successivamente ha intrapreso lo studio vero e proprio della cornetta con Mr. Johnson. Yeah, Johnson, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Sì, che era la cornetta soprano, la cornetta in mi bemolle di allora della Grindthorpe Colliery Band, vecchia scuola, però comunque il suo modo di suonare l'ha plasmato nella sua futura crescita carrieristica appunto con questo strumento. Thank you. And quando e come è avvenuta la tua prima esperienza da solista? When and how was your first experience as solist?
As a soloist,
Yeah.
again, this was when I was 9 years old. In England, we have music exams, associated board exams. And I had just passed my grade 3 and I was playing third cornet with Hatfield Band. And I was proud that I'd passed my grade 3 exam. And one of the pieces I played was from The Marriage of Figaro. And it was called Say Ye Who Borrow. Bum, 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 da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And this solo I love to play. Mr. Johnson, he got the band arrangement for me to play with Hatfield Band, and that was my first experience of playing with a full brass band. I loved it, and I actually got a medal, a little medal, so I wore a little medal with pride for playing this solo. So that was my very first experience. I've played lots of solos. In England, we have lots of solo competitions. I won a lot of solo competitions, but I also lost a lot of solo competitions as well. And this made me try harder for the next time. So I never gave up, but I remember playing Say You Borrow as if it was only yesterday. It was a great experience.
Ok. Allora, ha cominciato praticamente sin da subito a fare il solista perché nella scuola dove lui si è formato come suonatore di cornetta, praticamente gli esami erano incentrati su dei brani da solista, quindi sin da piccolo. Addirittura si ricorda il suo primo esame è andato bene in cui il suo insegnante, appunto questo Mr. Johnson, addirittura gli diede una medaglia. Gli diede una medaglia che lui praticamente gli attaccò al petto una medaglia alla sua camicetta pratica. E niente, da quel momento in poi lui ha iniziato a fare numerosi concorsi da solista, tanti ne ha vinti ma altrettanti ne ha persi, però ogni volta che lui praticamente ne ha perso uno non è che si è tirato indietro, ma ha, tra virgolette, continuato e ogni volta è stata sempre una sfida sempre maggiore. Thank you. And now let's talk about your masterclass in Italy, because 2 years ago you came to Italy and you show us the real virtuosity of your instrument, of the cornet. Because as you probably know, the cornet was considered in Italy as a sort of derivation from trumpet.
Yes.
Allora, quando tu sei venuto in Italia 2 anni fa a fare una masterclass, hai mostrato a noi italiani l'estrema virtuosità del tuo strumento. Nel nostro paese, dove la cornetta è stata sempre un po' considerata come una sorta di strumento derivato della tromba. Was your instrument considered at the same way in UK in the past too? And if it was, who or what made this evolution start?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Very good question, Giovanni. Obviously, we all know the origins of the cornet, you know, and it is really more known in brass bands. Occasionally, you know, in orchestras, and but it's strictly more brass bands, and obviously it's sometimes, you know, found in wind bands as well. But I think for me, you know, it goes really back many years. You know, from its early development, really, the cornet was, you know, came really from the early development of the post horn. You know, so this, you know, and most notable kind of virtuosos round about that time were, say, you know, Jean-Baptiste Arban, you know, people like this that really, you know, made the cornet its own. You know, for me, you know, I was born in 1976. When I look back over the history of the cornet, I just remember hearing many times recordings of Jack McIntosh and Harry Mortimer and James Shepherd, to name three phenomenal legends of the cornet. So I think these people obviously made the instrument its own in the brass band. And I think so many people since then have developed the instrument to be what it is today. The list of names is endless. So yes, it's definitely more of a brass band orientated instrument. But for me as well, past and present, you know, some principal trumpets in England. So I'm looking at names such as Willie Lang, Maurice Murphy and Rod Franks, former principal cornet players and solo cornet players of Black Dyke, went to play with the London Symphony Orchestra. Their method of playing was very cornet, very melodious, which made them very unique. I can name two players currently in high profile trumpet seats in England, Philip Cobb and James Fountain, who play cornet fantastically well and sound so melodic and sweet. But they also do this on the trumpet as well. So it's nice that the tradition of cornet playing does carry through in some orchestras in the UK. But for me, you know, it's definitely the brass bands where it is most notably known and more well received. And I just think it's a beautiful instrument, the cornet.
Ok. Allora, a suo avviso la cornetta non è altro che un'evoluzione del famoso post-horn, quello che noi in italiano chiamiamo il corno di postiglione. Da lì praticamente si è evoluta la cornetta. La dignità alla cornetta è stata data, a suo avviso, dal grande cornettista francese Jean-Sébastien Arban, non ricordo il nome, abbiate pazienza. E successivamente per lui che è nato Jean-Baptiste Arban, scusate, e successivamente per lui che è nato nel 1976, i cornettisti che hanno dato veramente grande fama a questo strumento sono stati gente come Maurice Murphy, Gene Shepard, di cui parleremo anche in seguito peraltro durante questa intervista, che hanno dato grande importanza, grande dignità a questo strumento con il loro suono melodioso. Peraltro poi sono diventati anche famose prime trombe nella London Symphony, vi ricorda anche Philip Cobb ad esempio. Quindi tutta gente che dalla cornetta poi è passata alla tromba, ma mantenendo quel suono melodioso che portavano dalla cornetta. Ok, now Shakespeare would say cornet or trumpet? This is the question. But, come direbbe Shakespeare, cornetto o tromba? Questo è il dilemma. In your opinion, what are the difference between cornet and trumpet? Are just a difference about the construction of the instrument, or is there a difference about blowing, playing in general, and why cornet was preferred to trumpet in the brass band ensemble?
Again, fantastic question. Obviously, I prefer cornet to trumpet, but that's my opinion. Okay. But you know, I think the playing of the trumpet and the cornet are very similar. You know, we use the same techniques and everything. You know, it's all very similar. I think you know, the development of the trumpet and cornet is where the difference actually is. For the trumpet is probably more cylindrical, so it's a bit more straight on parallel sides. And whereas a cornet is a bit more conical, so it's a bit more of a shape of a cone, so it comes out a bit more. And I think obviously the biggest thing for me is, and I've heard many trumpet players and cornet players over the years, but the biggest difference for me, especially in brass band circles, is the melodious sound that the cornet makes. If I played as I do in an orchestra, people wouldn't like it, because it probably wouldn't cut through enough or anything. But if a principal trumpet player maybe sat in my seat at Black Dyke, it would be a totally different sound as well. So concept of sound is a thing. But I think it's probably the development of the instruments that make it so cornet's probably a little bit more warmer in sound, whereas trumpet probably is a little more brighter in sound as well. So that for me is how I see the difference between the trumpet and the cornet.
But why was used cornet and not trumpet in brass band?
I just think, again, as I mentioned about the development of the instrument earlier on from Jean-Baptiste Arban, really, and how the people took the development through. It just became known that it was a working man's trumpets, I suppose. Where I'm from, which is a very, very big mining area, bands used to get together and used to have the instruments given, and it's more cornets, obviously more cornet based. Obviously the cornet is a more like a violin line, considered in an orchestra. So it's just the tradition that the cornet played more. And I do think it's, like I say, it's the sound probably more. Again, in a brass band we use obviously tenor horns more than French horns, So again, it's a concept of what sounds better, and the brass band tradition has just stayed with the sound of the cornet, which I'm pleased with.
Ok, thank you. Allora, ho chiesto praticamente qual è la differenza tra la tromba e la cornetta e come mai la cornetta è stata preferita alla tromba nelle ensemble delle brass band, negli organici brass bandistici. Lui intanto mi ha risposto per quanto riguarda la differenza, che principalmente è un discorso di costruzione dello strumento, perché sono abbastanza simili, la tecnica è abbastanza simile. Chiaramente la tromba è uno strumento a canneggio prevalentemente cilindrico, la cornetta prevalentemente conico, quindi il suono della cornetta è un po' più caldo, un po' più scuro, il suono della tromba è un po' più chiaro, diretto e brillante. Alla domanda invece che gli ho posto in merito all'aver preferito la cornetta alla tromba, lui mi ha risposto che semplicemente probabilmente nell'area in cui è nata la tradizione brass bandistica, era più facile trovare all'inizio suonatori di cornetta così come di flicorno contralto anziché di corno, e quindi praticamente di corno francese, e quindi praticamente si è preferito utilizzare cornettisti e flicornisti nell'organico di brass band. Da quel momento in poi l'organico di brass band, per come la conosciamo noi, uso questo termine, consentitemelo, all'inglese, si è cristallizzato in questa maniera. Ok, thank you. And now you have a great career with success, satisfaction, highlights, but have you ever had some sad moments, the typical period when you say, okay, I want to stop with music, I want to leave cornets? And if you had it, can you say something to people who is living in this period, a moment like this?
No problem. Yeah, everybody has sad times with their instruments. I think we don't play. We are not robots. We make mistakes, and I have some notable sad times in my career, which I'm going to keep to myself. I'm going to definitely keep to myself. But I think at the moment, going through the pandemic that we're going through in the world, it's a very testing time for musicians, whether you play brass band, orchestral, opera, whichever you play. And I think it's probably because we are used to performing. You know, at Black Diet, we perform every single weekend in concerts to maybe thousands of people. We have big competitions which have been cancelled. So we have no up-and-coming performances to do. This affects motivation. And, you know, it is a big thing. For me, I've done lots of interviews and I've been asked about suggestions. How do you motivate yourself? Well, for me, how I motivate myself is I leave my instrument out of its case every single day. My instrument hasn't been in its case since March. So every time I walk past it, I pick it up and I play a tune or I do some exercises. You know, I'm doing lots of teaching online. I think one valuable thing is for people in this current age of the pandemic is to maybe do things like we are tonight, Giovanni. We're speaking as friends. You know, some people will never get the chance to maybe speak to, whether it's me or maybe their favorite euphonium player or their favorite trombone player or conductor. So maybe I would definitely urge people to get in touch with these people and either speak to them or maybe get a lesson with them to help motivate them as players. Don't look too far in the distance. Maybe set yourself shorter goals so they can, you know, help realize the goals. But it's definitely motivation, I think.
Ok, allora io ho chiesto, lui che ha avuto una carriera, che ha una carriera piena veramente di successi, se ha mai avuto momenti di defiance, momenti di tristezza, momenti, chiamiamoli così, consentitemi il termine, di depressione, quei tipici momenti in cui veramente vorresti mollare tutto, e se li ha mai avuti, come ha fatto a superarli e che cosa si sente di dire alle persone che magari li stanno vivendo in questo momento, periodi del genere. Lui mi ha detto semplicemente questo, che è normale avere dei momenti di alti e bassi, anche perché, come lui stesso ha accennato, non siamo robot ma siamo esseri umani, quindi è normale avere momenti di alti e bassi. Dice: il momento particolarmente basso è stato questo della pandemia, in cui veramente siamo stati tutti colpiti, anche e soprattutto noi che lavoriamo nell'ambito musicale, non soltanto brass band ma anche opera, orchestra e quant'altro, e in questo momento di pandemia lui ha cercato di non farsi prendere dallo sconforto e non far prendere dallo sconforto chi stava accanto a lui, magari non suonando, visto che era obbligato a non suonare, però tenendo conferenze anche praticamente online, discussioni, vedendo gli amici, tenendo comunque vivo sempre l'amore e l'interesse per la musica, sia per se stesso che per i suoi interlocutori. Grazie ancora. Thank you. No and now we talk about your relationships between professional relationships between you and the world of the brass bands. So, could you tell us who was your first brass band, in which brass band you played in your career, the prize you won with this brass band, and which of these prizes you remember particularly?
Yeah, no problem. I'm based in Yorkshire, in England, you know, which is the heartbed of really great brass bands. And I've only played with Yorkshire brass bands. I said earlier I started with the Hatfield Colliery Band, which is a band very, very close to me because they gave me my first opportunity. I played with a local village band where I used to live called the Ascolta Band as well. I played then in the championship, so like the elite section, when I was around about 15 years old on Principal Cornet with a band near Leeds, the city of Leeds. This was the Wallace Arnold Rothwell Band, which is a very good band. I then moved on to a band in Sheffield, which is a steel city in England, and I played Principal Cornet there. And then in 1996, I became principal cornet of Grimethorpe. With Grimethorpe, I had 10 very, very good years. We won countless brass in concert victories. I won soloist prizes many times, best principal cornets many times. I never ever won a major competition until I joined Black Dyke. And for anybody, you know, that wants to play principal cornet with a band, there is probably only one band to play principal cornet with. I loved my time at Grimethorpe. I absolutely adored it. I had many friends. But when Black Dyke came knocking in at the end of 2005, it took me 2 seconds to say yes. And I joined Black Dyke, and yeah, I've been there 14 and a half years at the moment. I've won 3 national championships.
Yeah.
3 nationals, 2 British Opens, and 2 European championships with Black Dyke. But probably the one I remember the most, for me, the best competition is the British Open. And my first British Open win with Black Dyke in 2006 on Philip Wilby's Vienna Nights. That's the one that stands very, very clear and very, very high in the ones I remember. You know, every victory is good, but that one was particularly good. So I'm just grateful for all those bands that helped me through my career.
Yeah. A career rich of success.
Yes.
Ok, allora, ho chiesto praticamente un pochettino il suo, diciamo, rapporto professionale col mondo delle brass band, ho chiesto un pochettino la sua carriera all'interno delle brass band come membro di brass band, i premi che ha vinto e quelli, diciamo, che ricorda maggiormente. Allora, mi ha fatto un po' una carrellata dicendomi che ha iniziato quando era piccolino col papà che suonava nella Cori, ma in generale ha lavorato con le brass band dello Yorkshire. Lo Yorkshire è la Yorkshire, not Yorkshire. Yorkshire, okay. Che è la regione praticamente dell'Inghilterra dove si trovano appunto le maggiori brass band inglesi, le più famose. Comunque le sue prime apparizioni nei concorsi le ha fatte come principal cornet della brass band della città di Leeds. Addirittura lui è stato principal cornet a soli 15 anni, quindi di tutto rispetto. Poi con la brass band della città di Sheffield.
Yes, Sheffield, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
E poi è stato nel 1996 principal cornet della Grimethorpe, dove ha vinto vari concorsi nazionali. Dopo la Grimethorpe è arrivata chiaramente la Cori Band. Con la Cori Band ha vinto 3 concorsi nazionali, 2 British Open e altri 2 concorsi europei. Quindi i premi sono stati tanti e li ricorda assolutamente con grande affetto. Ok, adesso parliamo proprio della Grimethorpe, perché io ho visto un video dove tu suonavi come principal cornet le colonne sonore del film Brass Ed Off, che da noi, famoso film sulle brass band, che da noi viene conosciuto col titolo di Grazie signora Thatcher. Ora, eri tu la cornetta che ha suonato realmente quelle colonne sonore nel film? E se sì, che ricordi ne servi? Many years ago, I saw a video on YouTube where you played as a principal cornet in Grimethorpe Colliery Band,
yeah,
the soundtracks of the film inspired to brass band called Brass Ed Off.
Great film.
Yeah, with the hair like this. Yeah. Okay, like a Beatles style, no? A little bit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, did you participate to that film? And if you did, what do you remember about that?
Well, sadly enough, I wasn't when the film was made. I wasn't principal cornet.
Okay.
It was a good friend of mine who was principal cornet before I joined, called Sean Randall. He was very, very exceptional cornet player. And Sean was principal cornet on the film Brassed Off. So he played the William Tell and everything. Sean finished with the band, and I joined the year after when Brassed Off hit the cinemas. So I was quite lucky. I was unlucky not to be part of the film, but very, very lucky to go on all the Brassed Off tours with the band and the many concerts we did. So we toured Australia numerous times, New Zealand numerous times, Hong Kong, Japan, America. It was fantastic playing Brassed Off music. The audiences loved it. So no, I wasn't in the film, but I've played all the pieces, and yeah, I got all the good concerts really that came from the film.
Okay, what is the name of the principal cornet in Grantham?
The principal cornet player's name was Sean Randall.
Ok, thank you. Allora, mi ha detto questo, è vero, nel 96 quando entrò nella Grindthorpe ha suonato le colonne sonore di Brassed Off di Grazie Signora Thatcher, e c'è il video che effettivamente lo testimonia. Ma non è stato lui la principal cornet di allora nella Grindthorpe. La principal cornet di allora si chiama Sean Randall. Lui semplicemente ha suonato successivamente, negli anni successivi, le colonne sonore, e ci ha fatto pure una bella tournée, perché suonando le colonne sonore di Brassed Off, che è un film che peraltro nell'ambiente musicale in generale degli ottoni di tutto il mondo ha avuto un successo assolutamente planetario, e l'ha suonato in tournée in Giappone, Australia, Nuova Zelanda. Quindi diciamo che ha un bellissimo ricordo della musica di Brassed Off, perché appunto ha avuto l'onore di poterla suonare in giro per il mondo. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now let's talk about your experience as a principal cornet in Black Dyke Band. So, Jim Shepard, Maurice Murphy, Philip McCann, Roger Webster. Oh, what did you feel when you seated for the first time on that place, principal cornet place, previously occupied by legends like this musician? Allora, ho chiesto gente come Jim Shepard, Maurice Murphy, Philip McCann, Roger Webster, tutte leggende nel mondo cornettistico e brass bandistico in generale. Alcuni come Maurice Murphy sono diventati addirittura prime trombe alla London Symphony Orchestra. Gli ho chiesto cosa ha mai provato la prima volta che si è seduto lui in quel posto.
I remember from a very early age when I started playing, I really enjoyed playing the cornet, and I listened to recordings of James Shepard and Philip McCann on countless days. You know, every time I always used to have on my stereo recordings, so I had their sounds in my head all the time, and I always wanted to play principal cornet with Black Dyke. My father took me to the band room when I was very, very young, and I visited the band room, and the first thing I did was ask the person at the shop at the band room if I could go and see the band room. So let me in the band room. I went straight away and sat in the principal cornet's chair, and that was really special as a 10-year-old boy. Yeah. When Nicholas Charles asked me to be principal cornet with Black Dyke, and I remember meeting him at the band room and having my first rehearsal, going in the museum that we now have in Queensbury. On the music stands in the band room is all the past players of the band engraved on the stand. So when I sat down, I had to take my breath for a few moments just to say, oh, I'm here now. Staring me in the face was James Shepard, Maurice Murphy, Philip McCann, Willie Lang, Roger Webster, Ian Porthouse, Matthew Baker. The list is endless of all these fantastic players. And, to sit principal cornet of Black Dyke is such a special thing. I don't think about this too much because I wouldn't play my part so well. So I hope now that I'm making my own special part of the brass band history. My name is on there now, so I've seen people come to the band room and say, I'm sat in the same chair as Richard Marshall now. That makes me feel really, really nice. You know me, Giovanni, I'm a nice person. You're a nice person. You know, but we let our playing do the talking. So, you know, the thing is, it was an immense pride. And it's still something now, nearly 15 years ago, that I still feel great pride when I put the jacket on and I stand and play and sit and play in the principal cornet's chair at Black Dyke. It's a special thing.
Thank you. Now we are on the Olympus too.
Yeah, yeah.
With the other gods.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Ok. Allora, per lui è stato veramente un grande onore. Lui ha raccontato un pochettino il passato, perché tutti questi grandi che abbiamo prima enunciato, lui li ha conosciuti tramite registrazioni, perché li ha ascoltati e li ha sempre amati per il loro assoluto magnifico modo di suonare. Addirittura suo padre, quando era piccolo, lo portò a Queensbury, dove c'è la sede della Black Dyke, a visitare la sala musica, chiamiamola così, della Black Dyke, e vide che c'erano praticamente questi leggii, che voi non lo sapete, ma i leggii della Black Dyke sono ancora quelli vecchi del 1860, credo, e vide il leggio delle prime cornette, delle principal cornet, in cui i vari musicisti solevano incidere il loro nome sul legno ormai vecchio di questi leggii lignei. E anche lui, una volta sedutosi, ha inciso il suo nome sopra. E quello che ha provato è stato orgoglio, e ormai ricopre questa sedia, questo posto da ormai 15 anni, e l'orgoglio che aveva allora quando si siede su quella sedia, quando indossa praticamente la giacca con lo stemma della Black Dyke, lo prova tutt'oggi come fosse la prima volta. Ok, and now we have the last question. Your memories with the brass band, with the Italian brass band. What do you remember about that?
I remember the bass trombone player being very good.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I paid you. I paid you to say that.
Thank you.
I paid you to say that.
No, I loved my time with the Italian brass band. It's now over 2 years ago. Fantastic. You know, fantastic people, great people to work with. Filippo, the conductor, very, very good to play with as well. And great food as well. I love the pizzas, especially the pizzas were fantastic.
And also the asphalt. The asphalt.
Yeah. I remember this.
Okay.
For me, I remember also the band working very, very hard. I remember on the morning of the concert, I had to record all my solos, you know, and then doing the concert in the evening. So it was very, very, you know, lippy, but that was good.
Yeah.
And but I think what I remember was working with the cornet players. I had a really long day, the day before the concert, doing a masterclass, and then doing a big cornet sectional. I think the piece was Red Earth for what you play for the European, and I think you won.
Yeah, and, we won. Yes.
Yes, it was good, and I just liked all the energy they put into it, all the good listening they did, and always wanting to improve their knowledge and their standard as a brass band. So I loved playing with the Italian brass band, and I hope to come and do it again in the future. It was fantastic.
Especially because I played there. Yeah. Sure.
Of course, Giovanni. There's no other reason. I just came to see you. Of course.
Ok. Niente, ho chiesto semplicemente che ricordi serbava della sua suonata, diciamo del suo concerto e della sua masterclass con noi Italian Brass Band 2 anni fa, e ha manifestato il suo positivo ricordo. Vabbè, ha detto perché ci stavo io a suonare, ma chiaramente scherzava, l'ho pagato anche abbastanza profumatamente per dire ciò, e niente, si ricorda bene dei pezzi che lui ha suonato da solista, peraltro pesanti, perché sono stati ben 2 o 3 brani da solista, se non ricordo male, anzi no, 4 brani da solista, che abbiamo dovuto provare addirittura in 2 giorni, quindi noi siamo arrivati alla fine stremati, con Labbro che chiaramente meditava vendetta, per ovvi motivi, e niente, però lui è un bellissimo ricordo, perché anche la brass band sono anche Red Earth, pezzi difficili che noi poi portammo all'Europeo del 2018 a Utrecht, con il quale peraltro abbiamo vinto l'Europeo di allora, e quindi conserva assolutamente ottimi ricordi, chiaramente conserva ottimi ricordi anche del cibo, food,
It was good.
e chi si scorda il cibo italiano, questo è ovvio, e quindi niente, in generale lui serva assolutamente un ottimo ricordo. Ok, and now let's go with the audience questions. Ok. Allora, Vincenzo chiede: sappiamo che una principal cornet affronta un repertorio molto tecnico che mette a dura prova l'esecutore sia sul profilo della resistenza che sul profilo esecutivo. Anche voi mettete, diciamo, a dura prova anche la mia resistenza sul profilo delle traduzioni, perché le fate sempre più difficili queste domande. Lei, per far fronte a queste difficoltà, cosa fa? Come imposta il suo studio quotidiano? Usa più imboccature da cambiare in base ai brani da suonare o usa sempre la stessa? Wow, ok. Vincenzo asks, we know that a principal cornet has to play a repertoire really difficult about technique, about performance, about everything. To go beyond this difficult, what do you do? How do you make your daily practice?
How do I make my daily practice?
What type of embouchure about mouthpiece you use? Use the same mouthpiece or you change mouthpiece everywhere according to what you play?
Good question, Vincenzo. Very good. Good question. So I use the same mouthpiece. I use my RM Signature 1, which is very big mouthpiece. I always play a big mouthpiece. I never ever change. My daily practice routine consists of lots of long tones, lots of lip flexibility to warm up. Yeah. So very strong, very building muscles a lot here.
Okay.
I then move on to, triple, double, single tonguing.
Yeah.
And then using fingers.
Yeah.
So I'm always building the fundamentals. I believe a brass player needs to build their playing like building a house. So you build a house from the bottom upwards. So you have strong fundamentals, strong base. So strong bases for brass players, any brass players, trombone players, fingers,
yeah,
lips,
yeah,
and good articulation, good breathing as well. So these are things I do on a daily basis. Yes, a principal cornet player nowadays must be able to play in a lot of styles. So I try and play in many different styles with my solos I choose. And always looking at pushing the boundaries of the cornet, always trying to get new, repertoire written for me, and just showing the cornet off in a different light. But it all starts really with good foundations of playing.
Ok, allora per quanto riguarda l'imboccatura, lui usa un'unica imboccatura per tutto il repertorio che lui va a suonare, non cambia l'imboccatura a seconda di ciò che va a suonare. E in più il suo studio giornaliero è impostato su alcuni punti fermi, che sono intanto note lunghe e flessibilità del labbro, proprio per ben strutturare tutta la muscolatura attorno alle labbra, e poi chiaramente la tecnica con con i pistoni, la tecnica con i pistoni. E quindi questo è i suoi punti fermi sono questi: note lunghe, flessibilità e tecnica. E poi chiaramente suonare sempre musica nuova, sempre musica diversa, affinché con la cornetta possa, diciamo, abbracciare tutti gli stili possibili che con la musica si possono diciamo, eseguire con il suo strumento. Question number 2. Allora, Leonardo consiglia degli studi particolari per la tecnica cornettistica rispetto a quelli della tromba? Com'è la giornata tipo del maestro Marshall? Questa seconda parte mi sa che l'ha già enunciata, però Leonardo asks what you suggest as a particular particular studies about cornet technical. Do you have some exercises different from the traditional trumpet technique, or just the same?
I would say probably very similar. Very similar. The study books I use, and they're right in front of me on my shelves at the minute, are the Arban Tutor.
Yeah.
You know, Herbert Clark Technical Studies for Cornet, Charles Collins Advanced Lip Flexibilities, and books that I really, really enjoy, especially working on from myself and with students, are the Alan Vizzuti trumpet methods as well. You know, and I was brought up on the Arban, which I still use to this day. It's a great, great book. But there are books out there that, you know, do push, you know, the range of the cornet more and other techniques. But we were speaking earlier about motivation through this current, you know, pandemic everyone's going through worldwide. I think using different books is great to do, you know, to get different exercises. Don't just do the same exercises every day. Do different ones. You might want to open another book and do some finger studies, or, you know, from different materials. So there are lots of books out there. Use them. Now's a good time for everybody just to use different books. I think it's good. But all the books say the same information: how to breathe, how to play, how to use your fingers, flexibilities.
Yeah.
Just variety is key, I think, sometimes.
Ok, allora Mr. Marshall dice i libri che si possono, i metodi che si possono utilizzare per lo studio della cornetta non sono molto dissimili da quelli per la tromba. Intanto ci sono proprio dei libri che, come la Bibbia, vanno utilizzati, che sono praticamente l'Arban, il Clark, il Colin per la flessibilità delle labbra, e poi lui usa anche i metodi di Allen Bizzutti, che è un trombettista, però vanno benissimo per la cornetta. Durante questo periodo di lockdown, di pandemia, lui ha avuto anche la possibilità di poter utilizzare anche altri libri, non sempre gli stessi esercizi tutti i giorni, per lavorare questo o quell'aspetto tecnico della cornetta. Quindi lui praticamente consiglia sempre di variare, pur avendo dei punti fermi della tecnica che vanno comunque sempre coltivati e migliorati. Question number 3. Come si sviluppa il suono di sezioni di cornette in brass? Hai qualche consiglio per le brass italiane? How we can improve the sound of the cornet section in a brass band? Do you have some suggestion for the brass band in Italy?
I think what is very important, I think in the UK, for example, you know, where I'm from, brass bands is around us in many villages. And so the culture of brass bands, people hear a lot of, so they know the sounds. Probably in Italy, which is a fantastic musical country, you know the sound maybe more of the trumpet more than the cornet. Yeah. So when maybe people pick the cornet up, they are more trumpet players than cornet players. And this is one of the things I remember speaking to the cornet section of Italian Brass Band about, is I think nowadays, for me, it's great as a section to listen to so many different players, you know, different cornet players, because sound is different with many people. And so I think listening these days, there is lots of things, Spotify, YouTube, there's the brass band CDs, everything. You know, many people can listen. It's surprising how a sound can stay with you, I think. I think for maybe a section to maybe improve potentially is a more playing more together. You know, I have a saying, there is no I in the word team. It's all a team effort. So we breathe together, we play together. I think for a section, people take their sound from their leader, they take the sound from the principal cornet player, and they try and, you know, blend with this sound. You know, I would say the biggest thing is listening. There is so much equipment out there that we can really listen to many recordings over, and if the band's going to play a specific piece, then listen to that piece, listen to a good band play it and see what it is. And but I think more people in England are more used to just having a cornet there and playing the cornet, listening to cornet players. Countries are different, so it's but there's many things out there you can listen to, I think.
Ok, thank you. Allora, il lavoro che le brass band devono fare, a suo avviso, almeno, o meglio, le sezioni cornette delle brass band, in Italia è intanto il discorso dell'ascoltarsi più l'uno con l'altro. E soprattutto, purtroppo, in Italia, visto che non c'è una grande tradizione del suonare la cornetta, ma la cornetta viene suonata, questo lo spiegò anche quando venne a fare la masterclass da noi 2 anni fa, in Italian Brass Band, purtroppo le cornette vengono suonate da musicisti che sono abituati più che altro a suonare la tromba, quindi nella testa, nelle orecchie hanno più il suono di tromba, che è molto differente dal suono della cornetta. Quindi il suo consiglio è intanto ascoltare tanta musica per cornetta, ascoltare tanti cornettisti, sezioni cornette di brass band diciamo anche famose, musica per brass band, qualsiasi cosa, per poter far proprio il tipico suono di una cornetta. E poi un'altra cosa fondamentale è quella di lavorare, di suonare tanto insieme. Per poter creare lo spirito, la forza di una sezione bisogna assolutamente suonare insieme, per imparare oltre che a suonare insieme, anche a respirare insieme ed attaccare insieme. Con questi punti fondamentali si può ottenere un'ottima sezione cornetta in una brass band. Ok, number 4. Ilaria chiede: le sezioni suonano sempre con strumenti della stessa marca? E sarebbe meglio che lo facessero? Sarebbero molti vantaggi? Ok. Ilaria asks, cornet section in the brass bands play always with the same mark of instrument, or they have different marks of instrument? And in your opinion, is better using the same mark or different marks?
I think it will be better using the same, make of instrument.
Yeah.
Whether this is Geneva, whether it's Besson, Yamaha, any, whichever the band decides, to play. So for me, I think all play the same. I think that makes a good consistency through the instrument. Yeah.
Ok, thank you. Allora dice, non è importante quale marca la brass band decida di adottare, quello che lui reputa importante è che gli strumentisti utilizzino principalmente strumenti della stessa marca, perché chiaramente da una marca all'altra lo strumento cambia e quindi anche per trovare un'ugualità di suono la stessa marca, la stessa produzione aiuta. Ok, question number 5. Pensi sia meglio cominciare con lo studio della cornetta per poi passare alla tromba o viceversa? In your opinion, is better starting to play cornet and then go to the trumpet, or doing the opposite, from the trumpet to the cornet?
I think in England it doesn't really matter. You know, it's whatever you want to do. I think in some schools, maybe in England, maybe youngsters maybe are given trumpets more than cornets. It's probably heavily more on cornets, but possibly in maybe a country like Italy, maybe a trumpet is maybe given more than a cornet. I just think it depends on what you want to learn. You know, there's so many different things. Obviously, in England now, when you learn an instrument, it costs quite a lot of money to learn an instrument. So you need to pick the right one. And but I think both, as I said earlier, both the playing techniques of both cornet and trumpet are very similar. Some may prefer cornet, some maybe prefer the trumpet. So it just whichever you prefer doing, you know.
Ok, thank you. Allora, praticamente lui dice che sono due cose distinte e separate, vanno bene entrambe, l'importante è praticamente capire le diverse concezioni tra l'uno e l'altro strumento e poi decidere quale suonare e quando suonare a seconda, diciamo, del contesto in cui ci si trova. Abbiamo preso una sesta domanda? Ok, finito, ok. Dear Mr. Marshall, we finished.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's been great.
On behalf of the Italian brass band and also on behalf of the IBB and Friends staff, I want to say thank you for this beautiful interview with you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Giovanni. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you in Italy another time.
Thank you. And I want to say also to Mrs. Ellison Childs, who 2 days ago she celebrated his 22nd year in Black Dyke. So happy birthday in Black Dyke to Mrs. Ellison.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Giovanni. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you too. I want to say thank you also to Ilaria Moriconi and FOTODAK Studio for the graphic support. And then, first of all, I want to say thank you to you, dear followers. Follow us to our channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube too. Take the like, and I will wait for you next week with another big man of the brass band world. See you next week. Goodbye, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Arrivederci a tutti. Mi raccomando, mettete mi piace su Facebook, YouTube e Instagram. Iscrivetevi. Vi aspettiamo la prossima settimana.